Okay, testing, testing, one, two, three. Hello, everybody. Ah, welcome to this wonderful ice storm. We didn't lose power last night, which is good. But let me light this. Now, shush, come on. And walked away from it, so all of my little and that fell. All of my little sticks went bye bye, sunk to the bottom. All right, let me see here. There we go. There, open. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? There we go. Who cares? Alrighty. So yeah, I went to bed early last night because we had an ice storm overnight, and we were supposed to lose power. The all of the TV stations and everybody who was a weatherman working through a corporation weather person, who was part of a corporation, said, "Oh, most definitely we're going to lose power. We're going to lose power. At the very least, we're going to lose power." So Sam and I went to bed early last night, and we hunkered down. I turned up the heat. I One of the things that I do to prep for loss of power is take a shower, wash my hair. I did a couple loads of laundry. Got the laundry all sorted. Um, what else did I do? Get the laundry all sorted. I ran the dishwasher. The dishwasher wasn't full, but I ran it anyway. Just all the stuff that I wanted to get done before the power went out. I uh, filled up the coffee pot just in case we had power this morning, which we had power, but filled that up with water, filled the kettle up with water, filled the pure water filter up with water. Sam wants me to do stuff. Sam wants me to play. I love you, Sam. Okay, you're okay. You're okay. Um, and I even got a couple of pots of water on the stove, pots filled with water on the stove. I mean, it's cheaper than going to the grocery store. So, and speaking of grocery store, I was all set, so I didn't have to do anything. I had ice in my not only do I have ice in the freezer, I have additional ice in a bucket in the freezer. So as long as I didn't open the freezer, I would have been okay. All set. I'm just all set basically. So anyway, good morning. How's it going today? Um, there we go. Yeah, we'll see if that catches or if it goes out. Oh, there we go. One of the things about this wood stove has a wonderful draw, so I really don't have to do much to it. Um, Pressure takes the smoke and it puts it up the chimney, and it gets a good airflow if I crack it for a little bit. And of course, safety first. So let me see. All right, let's see if that catches. And anyway, um, I don't light the wood stove these days. I used to light it with rolled up newspaper, and I just was tired of dealing with all of the sooty stuff going up the chimney. So now I have those little bricks that I bought. Yeah, I could use the kindling and the tinder and all the stuff. Yeah. Put in a lighter stick. Oh, much better. You okay, Sam? I don't know if you can see Sam from here. Can you see Sam from here? You can see Sam from here. So, anyways, I wanted to get on this morning because I went to bed early. I go to bed early anyways. I go to bed very early anyways. So I have. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Um, so I have um um a lot that I usually do during the day, but I went to bed early and I got up. I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I went back to sleep again. But I got up this morning and I saw somebody's live, and I'm not gonna say, no, not gonna say whose live it was, but I did the live. I watched the live, and it was a group of guys. They wanted a mag. They even got together, and the subject was who's in charge and what who's in charge during the mag. What's the power structure? And they did a lot of talking, did a lot of discussion. They did a lot of stuff. So I don't know if Sam wants to go out, but they did a lot of discussion about that. And I'm just going to say, well, I'm one of those people that I learn from experience and I learn from other people who've had direct experience because that's the best way to learn. People who are experienced, people who have gone through it, done it. That's it. So one of the first people I read up on, and I've one of the first pers- people that I watched their old YouTubes, and they were giving speeches about it, was Dmitry Orlov. And Dmitry Orlov had this interesting, not interesting take on it. Ruh-roh. Dmitry Orlov had an interesting take on what was going on. Oh, hey, Gil, how's it going? Good morning. First big live. Um, Dmitry Orlov had a great observation, and I just want to share it with you. Let me see if he wants to go out or if he's just talking trash. Um, what? Nobody is out there. The Bobcat was out there the other day. So anyway, roar, 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 roar. If I have to rescue you, Sam, oh, he's looking up in the trees. So good. um, but one of the things that Dmitry Orlov said was he noticed because he had the opportunity when he was young. He lived in Russia, and then because of his family, he could go back and forth in and out of Russia, and so he was there before the Soviet Union collapsed, and then he was there after the Soviet Union collapsed, going back and forth. And one of the things he noticed is that for the power structure, for the family power structure, is the women did all of the stuff. They had the gardens, they did all of the cooking and cleaning, they did all the gardens, and they did all of the stuff, and the men sat and drank. And that's what I was thinking of when I saw that live last night, that this guy's going to be in charge of this and this guy's going to be in charge of that. And he's out on the deck. This guy's going to be in charge of this and this guy's going to be in charge of that. And if you're going to be in charge of this or that, you're also going to have to be able to do the things like uh, figure out what needs to be done and doing it. You have to, uh, if you want a meal, you have to plan the meal, you have to prep the meal, you have to do all the things. And in the spring, you have to figure out things like do the garden. And men are like, oh, men around here. I don't want to put it on anybody, but men around here, they don't want to do gardens. It's basically all the women doing the gardens. The men might plow, if the woman pokes him enough. Get out of the house, do something. uh, the men, I mean, they have generators around here. The men have generators, but it's like, yeah, the women can have generators too. It's okay. We can figure it out. It's not that hard, but it's something that if something has to be done, the woman has to prompt it. So if the woman has to prompt it, by default, the women are going to be in charge. And the people who are the most experienced, like Gil here, uh, they know their wives are are the people in charge. Oh wow, okay. Uh, Gil says he woke up at 12:30, worked on one of his novels until 3, and then woke back up at 5:30 a.m. again. Um, I'm on East Coast. He's on West Coast. I hear you. I hear you. I did that too. I woke up at 1, so I got back to sleep at 3:30. So but yes. So yeah, so just a word of wisdom, because I'm old, I'm older than I look. Sorry, I'm older than I look. Is just before you go deciding who's in charge. um, Usually it's going to be the women because the women are going to be doing all the doing things. And I don't know. I guess it's a difference between fantasy prepping and reality prepping, and you guys can plan and scheme however you want. Oh, that's and it's a lot because I've read the books, and as soon as SHTF happens, the women are just the baggage, and they do all of the menial tasks, or the servants, or the slave. They have no say, and the men are the ones doing everything, except for Gil's books. So you should read Gil's books. Oh shoot, I forget the names of the books. Staff sergeant is in charge. Staff sergeant is in charge. COO is in charge. So anyway, Gil, what are the name of your books so that I can go buy them? Um, Gil is very, very experienced. Basically, if you haven't, I advise you to go over to Cam Patton Family Compound, and Gil has a ton of videos on prepping and doing things. It's basically instructional. He's very knowledgeable. He has practiced prepping for decades. He used to be a professional prepper. He used to be in was it Department of Homeland Security? Or he used to write the manuals for emergency preparedness officially because he worked for the government. And so he has a very unique and a very good knowledge base to which you can go, and you can even go up to his videos and just put in the keywords that you want to learn and go in, and he has a video about it, which is good. I've learned a lot from him, and just yeah, he's a really good resource to go and excuse me. He's a really good resource to lean on for these upcoming times. So yeah. All right, wait a minute. What is he saying? Quick. Working on The Scout and the Ninja, Book 2. A ninja is silent right now as I am listening. Awesome. I just want to say so too many things at once, I guess. But yeah, go over to his site and he has live streams. Usually, was it Friday nights? Gil, when is it? Friday nights at 8 o'clock, but it's 8 o'clock Eastern. I think it's 5 o'clock Pacific time. And so basically, it's just I usually poor guy. I usually tune in. And then during his live stream, it's just so comforting, and it's just such a uh, great informal discussions that I just fall asleep and I have to catch the catch the end later on when I wake up again. But yes, wait, they just got oh, they just got married. All right, I'm not going to spoil it for for anybody. That's it. But yes, go over to Gil's page. Um, a lot of knowledge and a lot of learning. Um, And yeah, you'll see all of these experienced preppers, including their significant others, in planning and prepping and whatnot. So if you're doing stuff and you're not including your significant other, it might be wise to, before you say, that guy is going to be in charge, or I'm going to be in charge of this, and you're going to be in charge of that, and it's all male oriented and the women aren't in the room, um, good luck. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's and I took that to heart. You know, Dmitry Orlov said the women did all the stuff and the men sat and drank. And let's not be that person. There's plenty to do. There's also uh, Star Path Academy. He is a video uh, prepper. You know, he's a YouTube prepper. He's out of he grew up in Romania, so he saw the fall of the Soviet Union and basically the collapse of the economy, and he has stories. So Star Path Academy is also a good, and he's like his family came together as the community. So he had a family, not only his immediate family, he had the overall family to go and get the supplies and do the things. And there's a lot of knowledge that he relays as well for what happened and how to and how to deal with the mob and how to not get caught and how to not get hurt and whatnot. And he saw a lot of gruesome things, and but his family survived. And it's and I do admit it's a unique situation in Russia. It was a kind of a unique situation in Russia, kind of a unique situation in Romania, because a lot of the blocks and flats and stuff, because it was, you know, people really didn't move, so it was the family apartments and the family. You pass it down from generation to generation, because you back in the Soviet Union, I think you were assigned. Basically, you got this and you got this forever, and it's very difficult. You would have to trade places with somebody else or try to arrange something, and so. They didn't have to worry about mortgages and property taxes. There was just to the government. So when the government collapsed, they didn't have to worry about somebody's going to come and put a lien on your house for they didn't have that stuff. So we have that added element there. Um, so yeah, it's something that is a little bit different, but it certainly rhymes. What's going to happen here? Don't know. All I know is things are escalating. It's it's 17 countries right now that are involved. It's just not Iran, United States, and Israel. It's 17 countries that are involved, and it's things are expanding quite rapidly. Um, okay, so Gil says, okay, good. Compact Family Campground Live are M&F at 8 p.m. Gray Man Prepping is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 8, 10, and 8 p.m., and Morning Live working on the novels every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. So there we go. Um, so yeah, if you don't have a lot to do, go over to Gil's channel, and I'm gonna have to make a calendar just for the lives. So there's a whole bunch of channels, and it's for me. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I go for knowledge. I go for real life knowledge. I go for experience. I go for real prepping. And I don't mind people who just do the fantasy prepping. I don't mind that at all. But you have to, for the less experienced, you have to figure out, okay, are these people, or is it going to be reality prepping? You can have fantasy prepping that works, but you just want to try to avoid the fantasy prepping that'll get you killed or uh, get you at a disadvantage from everything else. But anyway, but okay, my fire is still kind of sitting there. I just threw stuff into the wood stove today, so it might take a while to go. But anyways, I just thought I'd pop on and let you know there's pros and cons to every uh, arrangement you have if the SHTF is going to happen and whatnot. Um, I definitely think we have hard times ahead. Let me tell you, it is March 6th, 2026, so that I can timestamp this so that we can take stock of what's going on, unless there's a big thing that's going to go on. Um, we have mystery radio signals all over the world. There's one radio signal that no matter where you are in the world, you can hear it, and it's a coded channel, and that makes no sense. So to people who know Morse code, and you know it's kind of a numbers channel that's all over that you can hear from all over the world. And now they have, if you just look it up on YouTube, there are people that will point the camera at their radio setup and just you can listen to it. But there's certain different ones as well. There are more localized, just radio channels that are doing number stations, and they're just all popping up and they're all going off. So we'll see what happens in the near future. So I think what the experienced people would say is kind of stay out of crowds, keep your keep your ear to the ground, as they say, and just hope for the best, prepare for the worst, get that extra can of beans every time you go shopping, get that extra rice, beans, all the stuff that you need to live, food, water, shelter, heat, community. Don't sacrifice, don't empty the bank account for what's going on necessarily. Get a little extra cash. Um, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole list. Usually you can start on the FEMA websites and they can tell you what to do 3 days. Gil, I don't know if you wrote that, 3 days prepping. I don't know if you wrote that or somebody else wrote that. Don't forget medicine, says Gil. Yes. Medicine, passport, all your valuable stuff. That's like passport, license, deed to the house, insurance, medicine. Medicine's good. Don't go without medicine. Um, um, what people do is they try to stock up on the medications that they need because some of us have medications in order to live. Like I'm on a medication that if I don't take regularly, because I have an artificial heart valve, if I don't take my medicine regularly, they can form clots around the artificial heart valve, and I could die because clots are bad. But yeah, that's what we're but that's something we're all planning on. We're something all trying to figure out, and it's stuff to continue our lives and continue our livelihoods. It's something that we continue on extending our resilience. And as I say, and people are like, some people have the thing that, oh, as soon as SHTF happens, I'm going to get my go bag and I'm going to go. So there, for a while in the prepper community, years ago in the prepper community, the big thing was, oh, as soon as something happens, get out of the get out of the city, go, 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 get out of this, get out of that. And now it's, oh, wait a minute, you have your base and you have your preps where you live. So, unless something really big happens to force you out, you're there. So that's why people are up on food, water, gardening. So they're prepping, and their prepping has evolved into prepping and survivalism. And prepping is like you gather stuff and then you're going to eat off the stuff and survive off the stuff. Survivalism is when you start to learn the knowledge on how to survive long term, like growing a garden. And people are very up on growing a garden, and they're not just, they've learned enough so that they don't just grow a garden in the summertime. They're doing soil, they're doing composting in the wintertime, they're preparing, they're getting the next tool they need. Either they're ordering it online so it comes in now before it gets too expensive to order things online. They're getting stuff now. They're indoor gardening. They're seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. They're figuring out if, if you get seeds in the mail, or if you pick up a pack of seeds, hopefully they're viable. The odds are they are viable, but sometimes they're not viable. So it's good to take some seeds and plant them in the winter. I have I have tomatoes in the next room. I have peppers. I have sweet peppers, jalapeno peppers, and I have garlic. I just picked the garlic up at the store, planted it down, and it just came up, which is great. Um, but yeah, but my big thing is I planted those tomatoes and those peppers. I bought the seeds and I planted them, and they came up really hesitantly, and I had the heating mats and everything. I planted those in November, and they're still only this tall. And I'm like, okay, what do we need? Do we need nutrients? We need this. And so I am learning, perhaps to go with somebody else's. I mean, learning soil, making sure everything's. But if I had to depend on the yield from those crops, I'm still waiting. They're not going to be ready forever. So so yeah. So it's a learning experience, and it's a constantly learning and adjusting and adapting. So yeah. It's something that is really uh it's a constant, and it's not a struggle. It's interesting. Right now it's interesting. Right now it's entertaining. Right now it's fun. It's like, oh, what happens if um and if I had to, if I had to depend on my indoor crop harvest, I'm just waiting forever. Oh yeah. And it's something that and it takes a while. Like I saw a prepper once, something happened, and the prepper just plowed under his yard, and he just planted all of these vegetables like they were going to grow, like they were going to go, and like they were going to yield produce that first year. He's into, oh, we're going to have plenty of food, we're going to have plenty of food. Well, he didn't have any. They didn't produce the food that he thought. He didn't produce food because he had spent the last, what, 20 years, 30 years putting weed and feed down. And that's not, the stuff is in the soil, so that's not amenable to growing crops. So he eventually learned that he needs soil that isn't full of that. And then he started growing things that way, which is a little bit better. But yeah, but like for me, I have chickens out back. I take the manure. It's hot manure. It's very effective and it's very good at growing vegetables. But the manure is very hot, so I have to compost it first. So if you just throw the manure down and try to grow things, it'll just destroy your plants. So you have to compost it with other things. You have to compost it with greens, which is kitchen scraps, uh, um, grass clippings. And my grass, I don't put anything I don't put weed and feed on my grass, so it doesn't go into the composting. Leaves, same thing. and just churn that up and wait till that all composts. And it takes a while for me because this year, for some reason, I couldn't get hot compost, so it's going to take a while. So yeah, and all those little things that are needed to have knowledge to keep going and just make that circle and cycle. And the first time I had the circle and cycle really going well was like 2010, 2008, 2010, where I harvested, I grew the vegetables, I harvested the vegetables. I ate from my garden all summer long. It was like incredible. My shopping list was down to like milk and something sweet and something salty. And I just ate out of the garden. I would eat out of the garden the zucchini, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, and stuff, and the scraps I gave to the chickens. The chickens produced eggs. I took the eggs out. I ate the eggs with protein. I ground up all of the eggshells. I put it in the garden and I gave it back to the chickens. And it was just that. And then the garden grew more because it had all the compost from the chickens and from all of the it all from everything. And it just was a good circle between the garden, the chickens, and me, and the garden, the chickens, and me. And it would just kept going back that way. And it was a good loop. And I was building up that loop. So, yeah. So a couple things happened that I couldn't do that anymore. But yeah, so I'm getting back to it now. It's taking a few seasons to do it. I was taking care of my mom for a very long time. She passed unfortunately last April. So I had to get away from it because there's other things that you have to do. You have a finite amount of time. Um, thank you, Gil. But yeah, that's what we have. That's what's going on. Looks like my fire went out. Yeah, I didn't put it on. Didn't put that brick on enough kindling. I think I'm gonna have to go fight with that for a minute. But yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm getting into exercising again. Unfortunately, we have the ice storm, so I can't go out with Sam. Sam is very sad. He is sad. Usually we go out for a walk. Even in the snow and in the crap, we've been walking 5,000 steps a day. And so hopefully after this, it's going to get warmer and less snowy and icy out because we do hills when we walk. So hopefully after this, it'll be warm, the snow will melt, the ice will melt, and Sam and I will double our steps to like 10,000 steps a day, which will be good for me because I am strong, strong like ox, but I'm also fat like ox. So yeah, um, but I don't want to. I want to kind of reduce my calorie intake, but I don't want to reduce it a lot because I'm eating the good things. I'm eating carrots. The I'm eating meat, carrot, vegetable, potato. Um, Tomatoes. I'm eating the good things. I do have I do buy the little bags of chips, little bag of um sweet like a sweet bar or a cookie or something. But then I eat good vegetables and stuff. So all I need to do, in my humble opinion, until the ground unfreezes, walk the 10,000 steps a day, so that I can be a little bit more lean for when planting season comes because I do intend to expand the garden this year. Either I'll do more raised beds. I'm going to take the raised beds that are all overgrown that had yellow jackets in last year, and I think I'm going to just pull those down and just do row crops and just keep the dog out of the garden. This dog isn't that bad. I had dogs before that would just go in and go through the tomato plants and just go, "I'm going to play, rip," and rip the tomato plants out by the roots because they just thought it was an overgrown area. So yeah, keep the animals out. Keep the Do a little bit more yellow jacket preventative maintenance because yellow jackets are ground wasps. So I can go in and do more gardening, and I have a an electric. I have an electric cultivator, but I might just have somebody come in and do a plow, just a first run plowing back and forth, so that I can go in and go back in with a cultivator and do all of the things to get more. And my I don't like mowing the lawn, so the less lawn I have, the more I have for vegetables. So hopefully this year, everything will expand, everything will be better. Um, oh yeah, um, everything will be better in that then I can do more gardening and less mowing. And for my secret, I'm going to tell you right now, my secret is putting down the putting down the weed blocker because that's my big my big challenge is always weeding and weeding and weeding. And I understand coming home and weeding and everything, but the less weeding I have to do, the more I like gardening. So that's my secret. Um, I have um, I have a lot of square footage that I have to weed. So I did my raised garden beds and I put down the patio stones, but I didn't put in the weed blocker and then the patio stones between the raised garden beds. So if I get enough energy, I might just pull up the patio stones to put the weed blocker down and do it that way. But it's not bad. If I just go through with the weed whacker, they're okay. One of the things I want to do is make sure that there's no grass coming up between the raised garden beds because the grass comes up and then shoots out runners, and next thing I know, the grass is coming out in the raised garden beds, which isn't good because when you pull up the grass, you're pulling up all of the roots of the plants you planted. So anyway, okay, I'll get off my high horse, but knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Um, thank you for coming to my channel. You guys are awesome. Hey, thank you for being my therapists. Um, I am not kidding. Um, it's very good to talk about the things that I'm interested in, and it's very nice of everyone to come and check it out. But yeah, check out my channel. Um, now that mom has passed, I'm trying to figure out, trying to find my way. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about what life is like without mom and the things that I really thought were clutch, because I had a lot of time to think about it. But yeah, so that's my spiel for the day. If you're gonna form a mag and do a mag and whatnot, and there's only one side of you have a significant other and they're not invited, your mag might have challenge leadership challenges in the future. So yeah. Um, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna try to say that gently. Try to say that gently. There's other ways I could say it, but yeah, you have to include everybody in this decision making process, or else it might not work the way you think it's gonna work. So okay. All right. I better get to work. It's Friday. Happy Friday. I'm hoping that we don't go up in a huge orange ball. I'm just hoping everybody is okay. But right now we have a finite amount of munitions, and we're expending munitions at a really, 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 really fast rate. And these munitions replacing them are expensive, so we shall see what happens. But yeah, not going to get into politics. Not getting into politics. Not getting. But yeah, it's not in my circle. Anything that's not in my circle of control. Anything that's not in my circle of influence, don't worry about it. You see what's coming. The influence and the control you have are how you handle it, how you set yourself up to handle it. In the end, it may or may not make a difference, but at least we took those steps to prepare. So that's all I have to say. Okay. Well, thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for being here while I do my spiel. I'll do some more of these in mostly in the mornings because I need to watch all my prepper channels in the afternoons and the evenings. And I guess in the mornings with Gil, I didn't realize you were on in the morning. Oh no. So right. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good day. I have work to do today, and a couple of other chores today, but then I'm going to settle down and either watch your live streams or watch your replays. If you have a live stream, if you're watching this later and you have a live stream or you have a channel, put your channel in my comments so I can look. There's a lot of channels out there that are really helpful and really thoughtful that you can go and take a look at and check out for yourself. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening in. All right. Hope this finds you well. Take care. Bye.